He was a dentist in Dallas with his own practice, earning approximately $280,000 a year. He drove a new BMW 5 Series, lived in a 4-bedroom house in a desirable suburb, took his family to Europe every summer, and had a wardrobe that communicated quietly and clearly that he was doing well. His practice was busy. His reputation was excellent. His staff liked him. If you had met Carl at a dinner party and asked him how things were going, he would have said very well, and he would have been telling the truth in every way he thought mattered. What Carl had not done at 49 was run an honest number on what he actually owned versus what he owed. His house had equity in it, but the mortgage had 14 years to run. His practice was valuable but carried a commercial loan he had taken to upgrade the equipment 3 years ago. His pension existed, but he had not checked the balance in 2 years because the last time he had checked it had been lower than he expected, and the feeling had been uncomfortable. His savings account held enough for about 2 months of his current expenses. If his practice closed tomorrow, he would be in serious difficulty within 60 days. A patient named Roy had been coming to Carl's practice for 8 years. Roy was a plumber. He drove a 9-year-old Ford pickup that Carl had seen in the car park many times without registering it. Roy wore work clothes to appointments, talked about his weekends, and was unfailingly cheerful. Last year, Roy had mentioned, in the context of a conversation about retirement timelines, that he had just moved £1.4 million into a different investment vehicle after taking advice from his financial planner. Carl had nodded and completed the appointment, and then sat in his office for several minutes thinking about that number. He bought The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley and William Danko that weekend. The book is based on decades of research into who actually holds wealth in America. Not who earns the most, but who has accumulated the most. The findings dismantled almost every assumption Carl had. Stanley and Danko found that most wealthy people in America do not look wealthy. They live in modest houses, drive used or average cars, wear unremarkable clothes, and are almost invisible in the environments where you might expect to find wealthy people. The researchers called this group PAWS, prodigious accumulators of wealth. The people who look wealthy, the expensive cars, the designer clothes, the prestigious postcodes, are often UAWs, under accumulators of wealth. They earn well and spend everything they earn on maintaining an image of prosperity. Carl had been, his entire career, an UAW in a dentist's coat. The mechanism that produced this result was what Stanley and Danko called the frugality paradox. Most high-income earners have high expenses. The expenses expand to match and often exceed the income. Maintaining the lifestyle requires the full salary, which means the lifestyle controls the person rather than the other way around. The PAWs in the study shared one characteristic above all others. They separated their lifestyle from their income at an early stage and kept the gap between what they earned and what they spent consistently wide. That gap, invested over time, became wealth. Roy had been doing this since his late 20s. Carl had been narrowing the gap every time his income rose. The second insight was about what the researchers called economic outpatient care, the financial support many high-income parents provide their adult children, which the book argues actually reduces the children's ability to build their own wealth. Carl was not in this position yet, but he recognized the dynamic in the reverse. His parents had modeled high consumption as the reward for professional success, and he had absorbed this as the correct way to use money without ever examining whether it was actually true. The third and most useful framework was a simple formula. Your wealth should equal your age multiplied by your household income divided by 10. At 49, earning $280,000, Carl's expected wealth was $1.37 million. He ran the actual number honestly for the first time. It was less than a quarter of that. He had a high income. He did not have wealth. The difference had been going into a BMW, a European holiday every year, and a house with 14 years of mortgage still to run. He did not sell the car. But when the lease ended, he did not replace it with another new one. He bought the practice loan down aggressively over the following year. He increased his pension contribution substantially. He stopped thinking about money as the thing that funded his lifestyle and started thinking about it as the thing that would eventually free him from needing to drill teeth 5 days a week until he was 67. Roy, cheerful in his 9-year-old Ford, was already building that freedom. Carl had spent 20 years building the appearance of it. He decided 49 was not too late to start building the real thing.